This video highlights critical issues that I plan to explore and discuss further in my book writing project, Tum to Kind. It includes my and my siblings' experiences within the educational system in the TCI. These are our own experiences and perspectives, focusing on the impact of harsh disciplinary measures on students, mental health, and overall well-being. By redacting specific names and language, the emphasis shifts from individual blame to a broader discussion on systemic practices that may inadvertently contribute to student trauma, and better discuss the effects of generational trauma. This narrative underscores the importance of reflection and reform in academic and cultural environments, encouraging stakeholders and the public to consider the long-term effects of punitive measures. This approach aims to spark dialogue and inspire the development of compassionate and effective strategies that prioritize student growth and resilience, ultimately fostering a healthier, more supportive educational community.
Sisters, Sky Missick, Raven Missick, and myself, Shauna Ray Missick, about our experiences growing up in Turks and Caicos. Sky, what was your experience growing up in Turks and Caicos, Providenciales? Do you have any good memories on the dock, etc.? What do you have to offer?
Yeah, I have a lot of good memories. Mainly when the family was together and we would go out on the boat fishing or snorkeling. Lots of beach activities.
Yeah?
We did have a couple pets, mainly dogs. We had a cat once, but he ran off. I don't know what happened to him.
Yeah, we bred German Shepherds, purebreds, and then we had the local pop cake puppies that would tend to wander into our yard, and then we would kind of just adopt, and they would come and go with our bigger dog, Zephyr, who was like the leader German Shepherd until he died. And then we had Mako, the black German Shepherd, and then he kind of took up that mantle of leader as he grew up.
Yeah.
And we walked outside often to the mangroves in hidden areas and stuff. I remember that. This is Shauna speaking. What was your experience with that?
I think it was pretty fun. I think it was a really good bonding experiences for the three of us and the dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you, Raven? How did you feel?
I had a piece of wood that was my best friend. Yeah. I pulled him all the way from the mangroves.
And you named it?
I didn't give a name.
Okay, so I remember we used to play on our dad's trailers that were put in the yard. This was when we moved to a different house. Before that, we lived in the old ice cream parlor. It used to be an old ice cream parlor on a hill. And then we moved. And Dad had his trailers, and we would play on the trailers when we were young.
What was the name of the game it was? What did we call ourselves?
Like the Girl Squad or something?
Yeah, Girl Squad. Yeah. I was Riku, Shauna was Pain, and Sky was Yuna.
Yes, because we were following that game that we had, because we had a PlayStation 2 before we broke it for some stupid kid reason.
It wasn't broken.
We broke the game, the Final Fantasy game. It stopped at a crucial point. But anyways, we played the part 2 of Final Fantasy version with the Pain, Riku, and Yuna.
Final Fantasy 10.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 10.
Right.
And so we were addicted on doing like this, pretending we were like on this spaceship. And it was
our airship.
Airship. And so we were using the trailers, and we would call ourselves like the Girl Squad with Yuna, Riku. Shut up. Yuna, Riku, and Pain.
That's right.
One of us would be like the captain. I had like the guns. I loved the guns.
No, I was the guns. You were the cannons.
Whatever. We were always like.
I think I was the captain.
I was the captain.
I was the captain.
I am the captain.
Okay. And there was a boy that lived next door in like the
we showed
apartments.
him our panties so that he would give us his jacket.
I never remembered that.
I don't remember that.
Was I the one that showed him my panties to get the game?
Wow, we learn something new every day. Anyways, he innocently played with us. From time to time, just innocent playing.
I wasn't very innocent with him.
Oh my God! You know what?
I don't need to know. Let's not go there.
Let's move on to another topic.
Yeah, maybe
So, do you guys remember the old Leeward dock?
Yeah.
Where our family business Catch the Wave was?
Yeah.
I remember that we spent a lot of time at that dock, especially after school.
We got a lot of wingworm from that dock too.
Yes, ringworm, because we were always playing.
Yeah, we were playing in
by
the sand
where the boats come in and out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
the dirty water. Yeah,
and so that's got all gasoline in it and stuff. That's while our parents are working, and we would often get like some free food or something from time to time from the restaurant.
Yeah, our uncle. Ice cream. Yeah, our uncle would always be getting us ice cream.
Which uncle was that? Uncle Dougie?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, I called him Uncle Duque off of that one anime show. Uncle Duque. You know the owl and cockadoodle.
Yes, I remember. Yeah, I remember. It wasn't an anime. It was a
cartoon movie. Yeah, and so just like the little parrot, he calling Uncle Duque the Duke, and so since our uncle was Uncle Dougie, I would call him Uncle Duque. He probably doesn't even remember that. And there were like other workers and friends of the family. There was this one worker in particular that when Raven was little, she was afraid of his dreads.
It was one of our uncles.
Well, not by blood, but he was like a friend of the family.
Oh.
Shaggy? No, not Shaggy.
Not Shaggy. He's passed away now, that guy.
No, he's not. I saw him when I was last there.
I don't think we're talking about the same person.
Anyways, I remember even before the business picked up when we lived across from the banana boat. Do you guys remember that? The old banana boat. Yeah, when Mom had her hairdressing studio and we lived across. Man, you guys were like fresh out the womb young, so you probably don't remember.
No, absolutely not.
I remember Mr. Winston, and he always gave me like chocolate milkshakes and leftover fries and chicken wings from the restaurant. And I would run around there and play with like the tourist kids from time to time. That was when I was in Ashcroft, so really young. Then we moved to the old ice cream parlor because it used to be an old ice cream place up on a hill. And then after that, around the time when we went to Richmond Hills, we moved to another location behind Glass Shack.
Yeah, behind Glass Shack.
Yeah, and it was there from then on. We like pretty much played only with each other. We didn't really have a bunch of outside friends. We were like our own entertainment.
I remember a couple neighborhood kids. There was this the twin boys that we would ride our bikes around with. Now there was the twin boys, and I think a girl, Maya. And
Kadriana Penn.
And Kadriana.
Yeah,
I think her younger sister.
Yeah, she was my old friend. But then as we grew up and matured, we kind of separated, went our own separate ways. We didn't go to the same school or anything, but we lived close by each other. So we hung out often.
There was also that the kid across the street. I think her name was Vicky.
Yeah, little Vicky.
Yeah, little Vicky. We would play with her.
Yeah,
across the street.
Yeah,
we mainly played things like tag and stuff. And then the other neighbors too, the older couple.
Yes, the older couple.
Paulina and Barley.
Yes.
Barley, yes.
Literally, the older couple lived across the street from us, and they were the ones that helped us find those puppies that were lost in the bushes where we lived before it was all bricked up and gated.
Those two people are the owners of the apartments.
Yes, they're the owners of the apartments. I don't know if it was always like that, but at some point, yeah, they were definitely the main owners of the apartment. And anyways, we went over there to see the puppies from Yuna. Yeah, one of the potcake dogs that we had. Or was it that they had? Either way, she ended up with them, and they adopted the puppies. And yeah, that's a fun little story about that. Helped save some potcake puppies.
We took a lot of dogs from those neighbors there.
Yeah, I even remember one of Kadriana's dogs ended up becoming one of our dogs.
I think it was Leroy.
Leroy, yeah.
With the eyebrows.
Yeah, one of the potcakes was named Leroy. And then what about that one girl dog, the potcake dog that was humping everybody, including Yuna? Sasha, yes. They were so old. They're dead now.
Sasha? Yeah, the gold one.
Yeah, gold one, remember?
Yeah, you don't remember her?
I remember her, just not the name. I suck with names.
I still have a picture of all of them.
Yeah, me too. I got pictures. Yeah, so we called him Leroy because of his eyebrows. For some reason, we put Leroy, even though it was just Lee in the Naruto movie with the eyebrows.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it just came off the tongue. So we called him Leroy. Then we had the female dominant dog who kept on humping the other girl dogs, Sasha, and then the black dog, Yuna, with her puppies, who ended up living with the couple across the street.
Yuna didn't have puppies.
Yes, she did.
Yes, she did.
She did? Those,
yeah, Yuna had puppies.
Those were the ones that we saved in the bushes with the older couple.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, those were her babies.
I loved Yuna. Yuna had a very flat body, so when she rolled on her back, she'd have a hard time getting back up.
And then we had, later on, a pit bull popcakey mix, Azula. Azulu.
Yes.
Azulu. We called her that because of her blue eyes at the time, but she grew out of that.
She was the repticle.
Anyway, she got knocked up around the time when we were living in Canada, and whenever we would come back, when we were still in school, and we would come back to visit during the summertime, at one point, did she get knocked up?
I was there when she got knocked up. That was
wait, that was later
after we were done with school.
Yeah, I was finished high school and I went to work for Dad, and that's when we found her. Well, Dad got her from like a breeder who is not.
He got her from Trisha.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought he got her from a disreputable breeder of some sort, and all the other puppies died because she was sick and dehydrated, and we took her to the vet.
And she had worms.
Yeah, and then once she got to home and she saw the other dogs, she was wagging her tail, brightened up, and almost instantly the other dogs accepted her. Yuna was always the dominant one over her.
Sasha didn't accept her very well. Sasha made sure that Azul knew her place.
Yeah, but she was kind enough. It was only Yuna who was already like the least of the litter.
We didn't have Yuna when we got Azul.
No, Yuna was there.
Yuna was there.
I remember Yuna was barking at her, trying to show her that she was at the bottom of the pecking order. Yeah, anyhow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I remember. We spent a lot of time with the dogs.
Yeah, they were like our only friends.
Yeah, we barely spent a lot of time with locals and other kids on the island, whether they were like the locals of the island or from business owners out of seas or tourist kids. From time to time, we would have interaction with like touristy kids who would come to visit the islands, and we got to, due to like the connections our parents had with the business, because I remember we spent some time at some of these cool houses.
Yeah, that one big mansion with the arcade in the basement. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, some of these locations were awesome.
You guys remember the house that I fell into the swimming pool in, and I think I blacked out?
I don't remember that.
I don't remember that
I
either.
remember like the Grace Bay and beaches area we got to go to because of the tourists that were friends with our parents. They invited us, so we got to go swimming in a lot of pools. And I also remember how we pretended to be white tourists, and we would just literally walk in and take some of the seating by the beaches, and nobody questioned us. This was back, this was like early 2000s, basically. So the island was still pretty it was just coming up in its development. So there was like a lot of space and quiet areas.
You know, I also feel like back then people weren't such hard asses. Like, they would see you using some of the hotel equipment, and they would be like, I know you're not a tourist, but it's okay.
Yeah. When they did find out that we weren't tourists, or when they knew us because of family connections.
They were a lot more kind, I should say.
Yeah.
I think it was also mainly because we were younger kids at the time. They were a lot more lenient with us.
Yeah, we were like kids running around. It was a safer time on the island, so we didn't have as much fear running in other places.
I also remember there was this one, it was like a kids club thing that we would go to. I remember I would always eat all the little sandwiches that they had there.
Yeah, from time to time we would be a part of these little camp things during our like time.
During the summertime.
Was it during the summertime?
I think it was like a little summer camp.
Yes, and I remember I had like an old part-time job when I was older at one of these summer camp things.
Yeah, you were one of the watchers or whatever.
Yeah, once I was a bit older, and we did, and I wasn't. Once I was older, and I was the go-to babysitter, and we no longer had that poor girl that was our old babysitter. That incident was fun. Oh my God. I still to this day feel bad for her having to go through that experience.
Traumatized her?
I didn't mean to. It's not like I intentionally nearly lopped off my finger.
Yeah, but that was just dumb kid stuff.
I'll never tell you how old I was during that period.
Too old to be sticking your hand into a blender.
I thought I could stop the blades.
Oh my goodness.
I was so embarrassed that when people were asking me, what's wrong with your hand? I told them I got bit by a shark. I nearly lost my finger, but it was reattached. I wonder if they even believe that. Who knows? It was a bloody incident.
There were a lot of sharks there around the island, though. So.
I never really felt like I got too many interactions with sharks. There was this one.
Yeah, back then I didn't really get that many either. I get way more now than I did before.
Yeah.
Because back then the ocean wasn't as fucked up as it was now.
Yeah.
The sharks are starting to congregate to the nicer areas. Hence, there were more around the island.
Yeah, the ocean definitely felt like it changed over time, as well as the beaches are more overcrowded as before. It felt like
a lot of the coral's dead now.
Like it felt like before, especially with the old conch farm nearby, like it was a quieter, freer spaced environment.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's like every time we went back to visit Dad over the years, it felt like home had changed. Like another building was erected, another space that we used to walk through was closed off, a new hotel was popping up in development, or another level was added. It was just, the environments kept on changing.
It definitely became
And it
very
became
crowded.
more corrupt. Sorry, I cut you off.
More crowded, more corrupt.
Yeah, the old dock by Leeward Marina, that was gone, and Dad had to move his business to like over where the mail boats came in.
It was prettier back then too. I miss those rose bushes on that dock. It was beautiful, and now they turned it into an ugly
walkway, and all of the local businesses.
Ugly hotel.
Yeah, and the local businesses, people were kinder to each other then, and now, like when I was working for Dad, and he was moved away from the old dock location, it felt like everybody was just hustle, and trying to like get clientele from the concierge, and they weren't as nice to one another. They were like,
it was definitely a lot more predatory with the local businesses towards each other.
Everybody was fend for yourself kind of mentality.
When back in the day, it was
Dad
more,
was like overly stressed out about all these, like the island went through so many developmental changes so fast, and you could tell that the locals and local businesses weren't able to keep up with these changes. And it was affecting, like with our dad and his business, it was affecting him in a way where he was stressed about it a lot.
He also was very, I shouldn't say that.
What were you going to say? It's okay.
That's the phone pointed right at me. It's okay, say it. No one's going to know. No, I'm not going to say it.
What about you? You have anything to say?
Trying to put my thoughts together
in a more censored manner as opposed to Raven over here. Dad was upset, and his emotions would get the best of him from time to time.
He was very emotional, and I think he would act before he would think. I think a lot of us inherited that from him.
Yeah, I often was told, you're just like your dad, and my personality is definitely there, like Dad's. And I've had to learn how to channel that energy, that excess energy. It's the Missicks. We don't like being messed with.
Short fuse, I like to say. We have a short fuse.
Especially if we feel like somebody's wronging us.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you guys want to add about your experiences growing up on the island? Any relative experiences, going to North Caicos, whatever?
We could talk about their treatment of the dogs.
The treatment of the dogs? I think it's gotten better.
I don't think it's gotten better. I think it stayed the exact same.
Yeah, you were the one who most recently went there. So what was your experience seeing the dogs?
Well, I'm just going to put this for the record. I've seen what looked to be the most torturous death that was given to a dog. You know what I'm talking about. That time we went to the house, and they had a dog on its back in their flower bed, and they cut the legs off the dog, and they poured acid on the stomach.
I didn't notice the legs cut off. But
the feet were cut off, sorry.
I remember that the inside, like they poured acid. Like, why would you do that? And it was just rotting there for days.
Yeah, they said they did that so that when they buried him, it didn't stink. But that was bullshit.
Meanwhile, it's like staying there for how long under one of her windows, and I'm just like, how can you stand that?
I never went back to that house after that incident.
Same. I tried to stay away. terrified me.
Man, I'm glad you brought that up because that was like a fever dream. But that was when we still lived there on the island. Yep. What about recently for the treatment of the animals, like the dogs and the wild dogs and the wild cats? Because there's a program, TCI, SPCA, where they try to neuter the dogs and get them homes.
I think they were doing their best, but when I was around there, I don't think they had enough funding or support to really make a difference.
And you most recently were there, Raven, and you said that you don't really think that there was any good changes. I even remember there used to be a lot of roadkill of the dogs. Like you would often see a corpse on the road.
There is the same amount of roadkill. There is the same amount of dogs. There's more cats now, and the treatment of the dogs by the homeowners and whatnot has not changed a single bit. Nobody follows any of the rules. There's still dog fighting. They have homeowners that do not gate their dogs properly, and we have had an incident where one of Azulu's puppies, Zeze, actually was mauled to death by the group of dogs down the street that belonged to the neighbors down the street.
Yeah.
And they had discarded his body so that we wouldn't find it, but all signs had pointed to that, including witnesses. Nothing has changed with the treatment of the dogs. The Islanders don't give two shits about how the dog feels. And training them, teaching them, taking care of them, they don't care. They only use them as security. That's all they are, an item. Not a living thing, not a part of the family. They're just an item of security.
Well, I'm not too mad at that I think of the animals as a means of security. It's just you take responsibility for the lives of your livestock, whatever purpose you're using them for. You know, you have to have a certain amount of rights.
I feel like, yeah, there needs to be more stricter laws regarding the pets there, absolutely, because it's only a matter of time before it's probably already happened where a big pack of the dogs attacks people.
Remember that boy who lived across from us? He got bit by a dog in the butt.
Yeah,
it's not a funny story, but when we say he got bit in the butt, it's hard to not laugh. But yeah, because there aren't really like the way that the laws work and the justice system and the police, it's very slow acting. And when we were growing up and the islands were still in development, it was very slow acting. So how it is today, it's hard to tell when we're not living there, but from what we've heard when we talk with our dad and we look up information from online, whenever we hear news of the islands, I don't know about you two, but I often hear about gang-related activity, illegal immigration coming in on boats from Haiti, and them smuggling some drugs too. So it seems like the environment has gotten worse over the years.
I remember, Raven, you were telling me that when you were there last, that Dad would not let you go out and do things.
Like riding on the
just anything, going out for food, going out to get groceries, anything. He wouldn't let her do anything.
He was always like that, though. He was
he was definitely different from what I remember. Back in the day, like we were allowed to go out and walk around and do stuff. We could go to the store on our own and like buy snacks.
That's true.
And stuff like that. But now, like from what Raven told me, is that he wouldn't even let her leave the house because of how bad it had got. Things had
like
gotten
he's
there.
gotten extra overtly protective.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that, Raven?
Couldn't hold me. Sorry. You know, from hearing all the news about the island now and even experiencing it myself when those guys went and broke into the little store there on the corner and killed one of the workers and injured 10 others.
That was close to home?
Yeah, that was that store on the corner that we used to get snacks from.
Really? That happened there?
It was there.
While you were there?
Yes.
Oh.
I could hear the alarms going off and everything, and I texted Dad, and I was like, what's going on? And he was like, someone's broken in. And I'm like, oh, shit. And it was going off for a while, so I could be like, where are the cops? And then all of a sudden we heard gunshots.
Wow. So there's been a huge immigration crisis all over the world, and Turks and Caicos is no exception. We've heard some news about from Haiti, with all the gang-related activity that's going on over there. Many tried to seek asylum in Turks and Caicos, but unfortunately it's illegal. They come in illegally on boats and stuff, and then they get stopped by the Coast Guards, etc.
Or they get in.
But then there's also, would you say, a mass immigration from Filipinos?
I feel like the Filipinos, they do it correctly. They have the paperwork and everything. They got the visas and everything. It's not illegal the way that they have done it. And honestly, the Filipinos have been such a good side to the island, actually. Like
you were saying from your recent experiences that the immigration influx into Turks and Caicos, you feel that it made things better.
The Filipino influx made things better.
Yeah, because they were like hardworking people.
They were very kind, respectful to the different sexes, and just they seem to not have an ounce of racism in them.
From your perspective?
From my perspective and my experience, yes.
Yeah.
Until they also made this really, really good food at this one restaurant that I always went to, and every single meal I tried there was amazing. Yeah. And everything was good with that place right up until the very fucking end. Like I went, I'll tell you the fucking story. I went for my last meal at that restaurant. I'm not going to name it. But right as I was giving the chef a hug to say goodbye, because we were talking and connecting and stuff, give everyone a hug to say goodbye. I go and I hug the chef, the owner, and he hugs me back, and I feel his hand squeeze my ass. And I looked at him in just complete disbelief, and he looked at me as if he was shocked that I noticed. And then I left without saying another word.
That was an interesting story. Maybe it was just a love tap. He thought you were that close.
Full on squeeze my butt.
Like squeeze that butt cheek.
That was the biggest squeeze I've ever felt someone go for.
I guess he felt that you guys were that close.
I don't know how he thought I was into that.
His older
His wife was standing right next to him.
Maybe that's just part of the culture.
I don't think so.
Okay.
But other than that, I really do like the Filipinos, but boys will be stupid boys and whatnot.
That kind of reminds me of a time when I was there, when I went down there to work with Dad, and there was a birthday party for our cousin on the party boat.
Yeah.
And everyone was dancing. I felt very out of place.
Well, you're the quieter one out of us. You tend to be like you and I in particular. We tend to be more quiet and I have a resting bitch face. So people always thought that I was like, when I was growing up at school, and apparently from what I heard, they always thought that I had like this snooty attitude. But the truth was that I was just kind of scared, and I felt frozen and didn't really know how to like interact with people and blend with them. And I was always like afraid of messing up somehow and being punished. So I was just scared, and that's why I was by myself a lot of the time. So you and I are more introverted. Meanwhile, our sister Raven is the more extroverted one out of us.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, so she was always better with people, while we were like, just wanted to be alone. And that doesn't exactly work in an environment which is tourist-induced, and you gotta be, more out there, especially with interactions with other. So, anything else? Talked about everything. Like, we loved swimming. We're like fish in the water. I used to swim so good and hold my breath so well. We did a lot of free diving.
We did a lot of exploring as well, to the point you, Shauna, got stuck in quicksand.
It wasn't quicksand. It was just like, in the mangroves with
like
some
really, it was like
dips.
mud.
Yeah, it was like squishy mud, but in like a crook of rock, and a sharp rock too. And I when I tried to lift my foot out, I lost my sandal, and it was too sharp, so I couldn't walk around, and I was kind of like left there until Mom came walking and saw us, and then she helped me out by giving me like a new shoe or something. I don't know.
Yeah, because I had gone home. I don't know why I left. I don't remember. I think you guys sent me home.
Yeah, somebody was sent to run for Mom.
No, you guys just sent me home, and I was just at
to get
home.
Mom. So she knew that, because it was getting late, the lights were going down. I'm all the way out here stuck. I can't move or see where I'm going on these sharp rocks. And
no, I think you're telling the story wrong, because I wasn't sent to go get Mom. I was just sent home. I was done with it, and I just went
perception.
Home. I guess
what really happened.
So I went home, and I'm just there, and I'm sitting down, I'm having some water and everything. And Mom turns to me, she's like, "Where's your sisters?"
Oh my God, you didn't even.
I guess it's coming back to me. I remember I think I stayed with you.
Yes, you stayed with me. And we sent Raven out, and she's just like, oh, they're just sending me away? And then she goes home and watches TV, completely forgets about us. The lights are dimming low. We're like, anytime now, she'll be back. It's not that far. And then Mom comes and she's angry. Where the hell have you been?
Yeah, she made me ride my bike and show her the way as she came with the car.
Yeah, how did that conversation go with Mom? Like, where are your two sisters?
She's really
while you're hanging out. I'd be mad at you, too.
She's really mad at me.
What about that time you guys ran away? Like, I was sick.
I don't want to think about that.
Let me tell my part of the story. I was actually sick, and that's why I wasn't at school. Sometimes we would fake being sick so we didn't have to go to school. You know, old school, get like by the lamp, make yourself hot and ucky yucky so that Mom would leave us alone. Anyways, I wasn't lying that time. And so I was sleeping, trying to get better, but you two were faking sick. And so I got a call out of nowhere from Dad being like, where the hell are your sisters? Like, they're upstairs doing something. They're gone, and we got a call from Richmond Hills. And I'm like, what? And I was getting yelled at because I was supposed to be watching you while I was actually sick in bed trying to recover. So, what was your end of the story? Because I heard you guys were wrapped up in towels, sitting by the teacher, Mrs. Newman, and the next day when I was at school, she made comments because you guys were weird. So, because we were weird.
I'm glad you're dead.
Can I please have some censorship here?
Okay.
Thank you. Anywho.
I think we were really stupid. And there was this path with a big spider web that we wanted to go through. Yeah. And we wanted to make it like some kind of big adventure. Yeah. So we pretended to like suit up by wrapping ourselves in towels.
Yeah. Oh my God.
We suited up. And then we went to the where the spider web was, and it was gone. So we went, let's do it. And we went walking. Free passage, yeah.
Passage was clear.
Oh, what was your thought? Okay, were you guys naked under there? You were wearing clothes, right?
You were wearing clothes, yeah.
So why were you still wrapped up in the towel?
It was our armor.
It was even around your hair. A
yeah,
towel.
we were like...
I had a whole thing about being in love with straight hair because of the beautiful girl that I was told I should be like her and stuff.
So
that's part of why I did the whole towel thing, and I put a cap over top the towel, and I would pretend like, oh, I've got...
But you guys kept it on.
Yeah, because we didn't want to lose our towels.
But you kept it wrapped around you like that, even though you had clothes underneath, and you were just sitting there waiting to be collected.
Them around us.
We did. We had a lot of towels or blankets or something was wrapped around us.
Wrapped around your waist and wrapped around your hair.
Well,
anyways,
tired of carrying it. That's why.
Oh my God. Anyways, you guys got picked up by some random lady.
Yeah, she was.
We were very, very thirsty at this point. We'd been trying to find the path back, but we got lost. In our minds, we came out of the bushes. But in my mind, I was looking for a path, not where we came out of the bushes. And so
this was how Satha was for us. We were just random kids walking around freely, playing pretend with towels over our heads. Like, we didn't have any fucking fears whatsoever.
Shauna, censorship.
Okay, go back to the lady. So you were thirsty, asking the lady for help.
Yeah, we had walked past her house a couple times because we were just making circles trying to find where to go. Yeah. And one of the times we walked by, she was coming out in her car. Her car was coming out by her gate. Yeah. And we stopped her.
Oh my God.
We asked her for water, and she's like, "Where are your kids from? Like, what are you doing here?" She's like, "All right, get in. I'll take you home or whatever." She said that she's gonna try and find her school so that we can get home. No. Because we wouldn't have gotten in the car. She said she was taking us to school.
Oh my God! She gaslighted you.
Yeah, this old lady. She was smart though. She was an older lady. She had gray hair.
Was it a local lady or?
I think it was a white one, but I think she was staying at the house. She had a car and everything. She said something about helping us, like getting home. Yeah, she said she'll help us get home. We got in the car, and then she started driving around to the different schools to figure out what school we went to.
Then we started getting really, really scared.
And then she drove past the way we turned, and we're like, there, turn there. And we were yelling at her to turn this way. I don't want to get in trouble.
And she responded with...
She just kept driving.
She just, like, didn't pay any attention to you?
No, she just kept driving. It's like, we're going to the school.
Oh, my God. So, how many schools did you go to before she took you to the right one? Oh, yeah, my old high school, Maranatha.
Yeah, we ended up there, too.
Okay, so how many schools did you guys go to before?
I think, like, 3 or 4 of them.
And then when you did finally go to Richmond Hills, what happened?
It was awful.
It was awful. But she figured out that, that was our school, and she made us get out. We had to sit in the grade 6 or 7,
grade, yeah.
the final grade classroom.
Yeah,
we had to sit
that
there.
was my classroom. And I remember Mrs. Newman's desk because she was the principal / teacher of the final grades. So I know exactly the spot that you're talking about. So you had to sit right exact there, and everybody's eyes were on you. It's a small classroom.
Yeah, I was still in school.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no, I remember it was, by the time Mom had come to pick us up, it was recessed. So luckily.
School finished.
No, school was over. Yeah, it was the end of school when we were there.
Okay.
We were there for the whole half of the day.
So you got there like halfway through?
Like
I
right
think
after lunch or something.
After lunch, like between after lunch and into school.
So
we were there for maybe an hour.
So how did she find out that was your school? She just marched you up and be like, "Do you know these children?"
She made us stay in the car. She went and she described us.
And
like,
when oh yeah, the Missick.
those are the Missick.
Yeah. So is that what happened?
She probably described us to the teacher principals,
and then she came out, took a look at you, and be like, "Yep, that's them."
Yeah, we were led to the classroom.
And so you just sat there during the class?
We had to just sit there and off to the side, wait for our mom to come pick us up.
Did she get mad at you, yell at you, say anything to you?
After school, she did.
So she just sat you in that class with all those eyes on you?
Yeah.
And you're wrapped up in your towels?
That's probably why we wrapped ourselves up in the towels, because we wanted to try and hide from these kids and everyone's staring at us.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And then, so she didn't call Mom right away. It was after school. Then she contacted Mom and somebody came to pick you up. Yeah. Was it Mom or was it Dad?
It was Mom.
Thank God.
If it was Dad, I don't think we would have lived.
So I got a call, and I was getting blamed because you guys were gone while I was sick. I'd like to reiterate.
I just want to say that me and Sky, while you were in the shower or something, we went down to you and we entered your room. And we said, "Okay, Shauna, we're leaving now." And you said, "Okay, bye."
I'm clearly delirious with a fever.
And we left. I don't remember that part.
Oh my God, you guys. The locals on the island, I don't know what they thought about us if we ever entered their minds, but we probably seemed like those weird group of sisters who lived off in that gated area with the paranoid father. Like, we were weird.
I have a lot of good memories there, though. Like the horseback riding we did. My horse kept trying to bite Raven's horse's butt.
I never rode any horse.
I think
they tried to get you to ride the pregnant one.
Oh, right. I remember that. I was, like, helping out, and then they tried to make me ride the pregnant horse, and I was like, oh, no. I'm not adding to this poor horse's weight. Look at her. She looks mad. Like, oh, no. And so I walked with y'all on foot.
You guys remember the pirate cave?
There was a piratey looking cave.
They had like fake pirate skeleton dudes inside.
Yeah.
Got to go in and they had like fake treasure that we each got to go in and take a bit of the fake treasure.
I remember
it was candy.
I remember a lot of nooks and crannies.
You don't remember you don't remember that cave?
I remember that there was like a school trip to a cave.
There was a school trip to the cave, but then there was also times where we went to the little cave too.
I think our group split up, and my group on the horses went to the pirate cave.
There were other incidences when we went to the little pirate cave.
And they had like little fake pirates inside.
Yeah, I think my group, we rode our horses out along the beach.
Yeah, you guys were out on and I was in the bushes.
Yeah.
Bush baby.
By this time, like, I was a bit more older than you guys, and you guys were closer in age, so you tended to do things with each other, and I tended to, like, from time to time, I would hang out with some older kids, but outside of school, I hung out sometimes with some of the kids, but in school, I tended to be by myself. I remember I read a lot in the corner, and, like, the few times that I would interact with other kids, sometimes I would like peddle these novels because I would read anything I could get my hands on. And Mom had this big like plastic bag filled with bodice ripper novels. So, you know, those romantic novels with the classic male character. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyways, well, I liked those novels because they were talking about history and I liked the details. I didn't like the sexy descriptions of the furry man pelts. That was weird. But anyways, I found myself like sharing novels with some of the kids, some of the girls, and then from time to time, a boy would try to get my attention, and I wasn't interested. And one kid took my like book and was running around with it and threw it on the ground or something. I was so pissed off. But yeah, that was in high school. I wouldn't dream of doing that shit, in Richmond Hills.
Censorship.
That censorship is okay. When you're like F and B and stuff and like that, that's.
I don't understand the difference.
Anywho, what are you talking about? As you look, you said something about a chair.
Did you throw a chair at a kid?
No. Oh, I know that story. This was like, I'm almost done.
Okay.
I was in high school, and there was one of the classes. We had like T-squares, so technical drawing class. And one of the kids was like, I don't know what was wrong with him. He has anger management issues. He was like going on about me touching his bag. We were all up waiting for our teacher because we had to stand up and present, right? And it was at the beginning of the class. And he was like, oh, yo, don't touch my bag. And he was like pointing his finger in my face. And I was like, stop pointing your finger in my face. And he kept on going, like, about to cause a scene. And then I turned to him and said, look, you put your finger in my face one more time, and I'm going to knock your freaking bag out. And so he did. So I don't make empty threats. I like knock his bag down, and my back is turned. So this little bitch, yeah, I'm gonna say it. When my back is turned, all of a sudden I feel a whack on my backside by this dude. He hit me with a T-square so hard that it broke. I didn't even feel the hit at first because he hit me so hard, my back was numb. And I'm turning around, and this dude is having a tantrum dance, like, man, as he's like moving around the classroom, stomping around and moving chairs. And then he takes a chair, and it looks like he's going to hit me with a chair. So like a move out of wrestling, I took the nearest chair next to me, and as he swings down his chair, I block it with my chair. And I keep my eyes on him this time. Like, I'm silent. I don't antagonize. I don't go any further. I just protect myself with that one move. And then he just storms out the room with his tantrum. And I'm like, I glance at the short teacher, and he's, are you going to do anything about this? And he's just in the corner like, nope. And so I walk out too. Anyways, I eventually got to go home with a little wound. I was a little bit teary because I was starting to feel the pain, and there was some blood on my blouse. So they sent me home. Yay! No school that day. And I remember Dad came to the school the next day, and this was when he broke his leg, so he was walking in on crutches. But the boy wasn't there. Bitch. I guess he was at home. He was scared cat fate to deal with the consequences. So my dad talked to the principal about the incident a little bit, and then he left. And that was when I realized some of the students actually thought I was like pure, fully white. Some of them didn't even know that my dad was like a local. Yeah, some kids knew who I was, but some random kids who didn't. Like, the island wasn't so small that everybody knows exactly everybody. So yeah, that was. Okay, and that is the end of the discussion with the Missick sisters of life in the TCI.